Good afternoon, and welcome to this presentation of Singing the Unsung, a very important July 4th presentation. Okay, so today, on many days when people are sporting the red, white, and blue, I'm very thankful as a black woman in America to be able to wear whatever I want. Look up the significance of the red, black, and green, and consider, given actual American history, why a black person might be a little bit uncomfortable in participating with patriotic rituals that suggest that the actual dawn of freedom in the United States was July 4th, 1776. I could deliver about an hour worth of information about why that is not the case, but I'm also not here to ruin anyone's holiday, so however you choose to celebrate, and whomever you wish to celebrate with, I'm going to sing the unsung for us today and present history and Negro spirituals. The person who I am choosing to highlight today is an actual founding father of freedom who began his work 1 year after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. His name was Reverend James Varick of the African Methodist Episcopal Church in 1777 in New York State. This black man looked at the Declaration of Independence that said that all men were created equal and were endowed by their creator with inalienable rights that slave owner Thomas Jefferson had written, and Reverend Varick recognized that Thomas Jefferson did not include black people who were not even considered human. But Reverend James Varick knew the Lord and knew that God had created out of one blood all the families of the earth. And if freedom was for one group of men, then it was for all groups of men. Reverend James Varick and his church and abolitionists in New York began 50 years of work to have slavery abolished in New York State. Interestingly, both Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, fathers of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, but also slave owners, both died on July 4th, 1826, their last wish being to be allowed to live to see the 50th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America. James Varick lived 50 years from 1777 to see something even greater than that. On July 4th, 1827, New York State abolished slavery, thereby freeing. New York was one of the Union's biggest slave states, thereby freeing all Africans cruelly enslaved in New York State. How important is this? To this day, we refer to stocks and bonds. Do you know where that terminology came from? The first stocks and bonds on Wall Street, where the slaves were put up to market, were the stocks of what were considered human cattle of black bodies, and the bonds were to secure them, the chains that they were in. Those terms became used to describe other things in the market. But on July 4th, 1827, the work of Reverend James Varick, the AME Church, and those who stood with them for freedom put an end to slavery in New York State. Now, let me tell you a secret. Everybody celebrating July 4th is actually celebrating James Varick, although they do not know it. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 2nd, 1776. The first time anything worth celebrating for freedom actually happened on a July 4th was actually July 4th, 1827. So, happy James Varick Day, everybody. Put that right along with your Independence Day celebrations because many of you have the wrong day. And now you know. You are welcome to join black people in celebrating an actual founding father of freedom. And because Thomas Jefferson did give us the language to work toward so that we could hold America accountable for making sure all men had equality, we might eat some barbecue with you today and keep James Varick and many others, Crispus Attucks, James Varick, Peter Salem, many more, all the way down to Eugene Goodman on January 6th, 2021. Who actually have worked alongside all right-minded white people and Native people and Latino people and Asian people as well to make sure that freedom is preserved for all of our posterities. And if you're going to celebrate July 4th, that's a good thing to celebrate. So we are singing the unsung. Today we have a spiritual called Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round. And I'm going to share it first in the way that our ancestors, my distant ancestors before Juneteenth, 1865, would have sung it. And even though it describes the path to spiritual freedom, understand that our people were on the march all the way 246 years. When they talked about spiritual freedom, they knew they were also on the march to freedom on this earth, but it was not safe for them to say that necessarily. So keep that in mind, and then I'll explain how my immediate ancestors changed the song to talk openly about what they were doing. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. Keep the straight and the narrow way. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round. Turn me round, ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. Keep the straight and the narrow way. That was the original. 100 years after Juneteenth, my immediate ancestors of the previous 1 and 2 generations were involved in the struggle for civil rights. So they changed the ending of the song to talk about keeping on walking, talking, and marching up the Freedom Way because they were in the streets facing Bull Connor, facing George Wallace, Mr. Segregation now and forever. All these things, facing dogs and water hoses, but they said they were going to keep on walking, keep on talking, and openly marching up the Freedom Way. So I'm going to name 2 enemies that they defeated. And then I'm going to change keys twice and name some enemies that we today still have to defeat. And this invitation is open to all freedom-minded, righteous people of every color and shade. The old enemies were defeated. Today is also the 158th anniversary of the Confederate defeats at Gettysburg and Vicksburg. Look, you need me to celebrate some history that involves white people? I will celebrate the whipping of Confederate butt any day of the year anybody wants to do it. But let me name the 2 enemies that we know about from the 1960s. And then I'm going to name 2 enemies that we have to overcome today as well. And I'll change keys so you'll know when I get to what we were dealing with today. Ain't gonna let old Jim Crow turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let old Jim Crow turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up the Freedom Way. Ain't gonna let segregation turn me round, turn me round. Turn me round, ain't gonna let segregation turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up the Freedom Way. Ain't gonna let gerrymandering turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let gerrymandering turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up the Freedom Way. Ain't gonna let voter suppression turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let voter suppression turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up the Freedom Way. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, keep on a speaking, keep on a singing, keep on teaching, keep on reaching, keep on a working, keep on a voting, keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up the Freedom Way. Enjoy the 4th of July. Enjoy the freedom on the 4th of July to keep walking, talking, speaking, singing, teaching, reaching, working, and voting in spite of gerrymandering and voter suppression, and keep marching up the Freedom Way. From James Varick, founding father of freedom in 1777, and his victory on July 4th, 1827, to Deanne Dovey Matthews, daughter of veterans who fought bravely for this country on July 4th, 2021. And also, shout out to Reverend Malcolm Byrd of the AME Zion, used to be the first AME Zion Church of San Francisco. He has since moved his pastorate, but he was the first person to actually, in a documentary, bring James Barrick to my attention so I could do the research years later and make this presentation today. Enjoy your day and be free to enjoy it however you see fit. Goodbye.